Week 13, our final matchup of the regular season here. We have the 7-5 greatest show on paper. Man, what a turnaround he has had.
0-4 to 7-5.
Unbelievable. Wow. He has secured his playoff spot and is playing Hipples Nipples, who is looking for a playoff spot. Now, with McLaughlin, what he's really looking at is if he wins, he has the bye week, which he would rather have. It's just one less week that he has the chance to lose. Obviously, pit and turf if he gets in, or if he wins, he's in. Anyway, so it does have playoff implications. So let's go. We look at Tom Brady, and he played Miami earlier this year and got 17 points. Miami gives up about 13 points to opposing quarterbacks, and Donovan McNabb, 13 touchdowns. Donovan McNabb against Atlanta. Atlanta has a pretty rough secondary, giving up 18 touchdowns.
Tampa had a good week against them, and that's not good.
Yeah, do you think Tom Brady comes back this week and really shows everybody what he should have done against New Orleans?
I wouldn't be surprised if he did that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what Belichick is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's the dynamic here. He could run the ball because he doesn't trust his defense, or he could say, Brady, I'm riding you. Let's go. Let's take it to him.
And he has been running the ball quite a bit more than I think a lot of us were thinking he was going to do. I don't know. It's a toss-up here because I really like Brady to come back from a bad week.
Right.
Or a non-Brady week, I should say. So I'll give that one a toss-up. With the running backs, Thomas Jones and Mendenhall just have tremendous matchups.
Seriously.
Buffalo and Oakland are 1 and 2 in the most fantasy points given up to opposing running backs. So I think that's a huge thing.
That's the last thing the Hipples need is that.
No, he's rolling with Noshawn against Kansas City, who doesn't have a great run defense, but he's also going up against Ricky Williams in New England, who has a decent, kind of iffy. You saw the Saints didn't get a ton of stuff against them, and a lot of it was passed out of the screens.
Yeah.
Now Ricky Williams can pass, and he can he can do a lot from there.
Absolutely.
So who knows? But I'm going to give the edge.
The matchups are definitely to the paper.
Moving on and looking at the wide receivers, Wes Welker, and it's a good possession receiver against Miami. I don't think he played against Miami the first time that they played each other. So I think he should have a good matchup here because he's a possession guy. Marcus Colston gets down the field, and a lot of times Drew Brees is able to find him fairly easily. Roddy White had about 5 points, got a last-second touchdown, and helped secure the Atlanta win last week. When you look at the other side, though, you've got Mike Sims-Walker, Calvin Johnson, and Santonio Holmes.
Calvin Johnson has to be the key here. As he's really his only big play guy there.
Yeah, now, you see a questionable on Mike Sims-Walker. What are your people telling you about that?
They're not really saying much. They're just saying that it's really uncomfortable to be around Chris of the Hipples Nipples because, just frankly, it's uncomfortable to be around him.
So, who do you give the edge to here?
The edge is definitely to the greatest show. I mean, everything down the list there is good for the show.
Okay. When I look at it, Santonio Holmes going up against Oakland, the Namandi thing you have to kind of keep into consideration there. As you said last week, he moves from side to side, kind of depending on it. So Santonio Holmes could go either way.
Yep.
Calvin Johnson against the Bengals. I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on that. They're still targeting him a lot, so it's going to be definitely.
Hippos' season depends on how Calvin Johnson plays this week.
All right. Moving on to the tight ends, you got Vernon Davis against Seattle. And Antonio Gates, who had an unbelievable week last week.
Seriously.
Pretty much could cost Nappy his spot in the playoffs as a result of that. But Gates going against Cleveland gives up about 7 points and about 6 touchdowns throughout the year. Vernon Davis going against Seattle, 5.8 and 3 touchdowns for the year. Who do you like better?
At this point in time, Dougie, it doesn't really matter. This game is not going to come down to the defenses or the kickers.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest show has too much firepower. And he has too many marvelous, wonderful matchups.
Mm-hmm.
This game, it could be the blowout of the week.
Okay.
And I hate to see it because Chris has done so much with so little this year.
Yeah.
And I'd like to tip off my nip to him and say, fantastic work this year. You took a lot of crap.
Mm-hmm.
Your team blew that you inherited.
Mm-hmm.
And you were 1 game away from the playoffs.
Right.
But it's just not going to happen going against the hottest team in the GFL.
With the Steelers playing Oakland, Oakland gives up a ton of points. I think that's a really good play from McLaughlin here. And then you got the Ravens against the Packers, not the big one. So in the end, as you said before, I too will take McLaughlin. Just amazing what he's been able to do with turning around his team. And he should be able to secure a first-round bye.
It's not amazing when you rob somebody raw, but it's interesting.
Well, if it works for him, it works for him. Yeah. Shame on us for not being able to do it too, I guess.
Absolutely.
Anyway, something we could all learn. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week with a new playoff format
edition.
And we'd love to have you back. Thank you to all of our viewers for watching. Have a good week.